Morning everyone, this is CoinsKid, hope you're well. We're jumping into the Bitcoin chart right now, and as you can see, we did break up from yesterday. We did print that inverse head and shoulders there, as you can see, there, like that. So there's your shoulder. It's on the 4 hourly time frame. There's shoulder, there's head, there's another shoulder, and you can see that once we broke the neckline, we pushed up there, okay, and we do seem to have hit a bit of resistance there. If you look, that's the previous high up there before we made the new all-time high. So we have hit a level of resistance, and we do seem to be pulling back at the moment. But one thing we can target is a breakout from this inverse head and shoulders. It's this here. So when you break the neckline, potentially, you know, that is basically where we have topped out of this breakout of the inverse head and shoulders. So at the moment, Bitcoin does seem to have hit a bit of resistance, and that video that we made the other day could actually be playing out, where Bitcoin went up to this high, came back down, bounced off the EMA on the daily. If we jump to the daily now, you'll see. So just in our video, as we predicted, we did predict that Bitcoin would go up, obviously make that high, come back down, and hit this 20 EMA on the daily time frame, go back up and hit a level of resistance before it comes back down and retests the 20 EMA again. So realistically looking at it, that looks like it potentially might be on the cards. Okay, we might see ourselves roll over, have one more test of this EMA here on the daily time frame, the 20 EMA, before we actually push back up, get through that previous high, the all-time high there, and then move on to a target of 79k, which is up there roughly. Okay guys, so that is our long-term target on Bitcoin, and it looks to be playing out to an absolute T, as spotted by Mariah Monetize. And we made a video the other day, and it's in the channel. Do go and check that video out, because this is absolutely playing out to a T. Okay, you can see that as we come up, we hit a level of resistance which was just above this previous high, and it's hit its head on something there anyway, and it's coming back. Okay, if it doesn't get back to there, let's zoom in on the 4 hourly and see how we're looking on the 4 hourly time frame now. Okay, so on the 4 hourly, you can see that we are literally coming back to the 20 EMA on the 4 hourly time frame. So that might be where we do find that support, okay, before we move on and take out that previous high and then move on to our long-term high of 79k per Bitcoin. What we need to look at and pay attention to is the Bitcoin dominance chart. As you can see, we've not actually come and touched this trend line, this parabolic support line on the daily time frame. So that again is not out of the question. Okay, we have pumped out of this inverse head and shoulders, which is good, and our target was met up there at those levels, but now we look like we're being rejected and coming back down. So what we could see here is a couple of scenarios really, where we come back down and bounce off the 4 hourly 20 EMA there and move on and upwards, or we could potentially fall through those, okay, and then come back down, testing this support line and potentially the 20 EMA on the daily time frame there. But so it's just to keep your eyes on this now, because what we could be looking at as well, and I want to draw this to your attention, on the daily time frame here, guys. Okay, if we fail now to get above this high, you could potentially be looking at another head and shoulders pattern here, guys, on the 4 hourly time frame. I do apologize. On the 4 hourly time frame, you could be looking at a potential head and shoulders pattern, because what it is, when we make these head and shoulders pattern is, we go up, we make a high, and then we make another high, and then when we come down, we try to make another high, and if you fail to do that, you start to form a weakening trend. Okay, so there's your shoulder, there's your head, there's your potential right shoulder. So you could see us pull back down to this level, and then we would be targeting this to the neckline as a breakdown from the neckline. So that could see us dump further down to potentially a 47k Bitcoin, and that would actually drag the whole market down with it. We would have lost this parabolic support line. So effectively, we may be looking at a trend reset for Bitcoin. If it was to fail to push on and break that high, okay, we may be looking at a head and shoulders pattern again. And we are targeting a very similar pattern on Ethereum, which I'll show you in a moment. So realistically, you know, we do need Bitcoin to come down, bounce off this EMA, and move on and make those highs. Otherwise, we are looking at a further downturn for Bitcoin. So that's something that's potentially on the cards there, guys. And if you was to go short from this point, you know, you would be looking at a whopping 18% trade going short on Bitcoin. But it's not advisable, it's not financial advice, it's just something that is probably a potential. Okay, we do like to cover everything in the chart. So what we're going to do now is jump on the Bitcoin dominance chart. So looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart, you can see yesterday we came down to this support line here on the symmetrical triangle and the multi-year long support line of this Bitcoin dominance chart. But what we're doing, we're moving down in this symmetrical triangle, as you're aware in the channel here, and basically we bounced off this support here, went up, hit our head. We got through the 20 EMA actually, but then we hit our head on the 55, got rejected, and now we do look like we're coming back down. So potentially we could be looking at a further loss for Bitcoin of almost 1% down to this level, and you may see us come down again here, bounce off that, and then do something like this, okay, until we break out upwards or we break down, okay. And like I said to you, these symmetrical triangles are usually a continuation pattern. As you can see, if we were to zoom out, you would see that Bitcoin has fell into this symmetrical triangle. Okay, so it's very, very critical time as you know, as we cover in the channel here. What is positive though is Bitcoin did form a bullish cross on the MACD down there. If you look down there, okay guys, we did form a bullish cross on the MACD just there. So we got the MACD on the bullish cross, and the histogram's starting to turn bullish, but then obviously we got rejected off the EMAs. So a rebound here is not out of the question. We could get a slow curl here, like a curl where we go back up and we do actually get through these EMAs, and then we form a bullish cross, which would see us and potentially pushes out of this symmetrical triangle, pushing Bitcoin up to that 79k. So it's very testing times, guys. So keep an eye on that on the MACD there in the Bitcoin dominance chart on the 4-hourly time frame. So what I'm going to do is jump into Ethereum right now. So you can see yesterday Ethereum got that bounce we were looking for. Okay, so basically we were targeting a coming together of these EMAs and a bounce of the EMAs, and that played off beautifully. And as you can see, we was down there, we was under the EMAs, and I did say that if we was to get that bounce, you would see the price go with it. Okay, and that did actually happen. You know, that's worked out beautifully. But what we're doing now is we're simply back testing this support line. Okay, but again, what we do need to keep an eye on here, guys, is a potential head and shoulders forming, especially on the 4-hourly time frame, as we are with Bitcoin. You know, we could be looking at a head and shoulders forming. So we do need to make that higher high for Ethereum here. We do need to take out this previous high, which is this level here. So we'll target that, because failing to take that out, we would potentially print a head and shoulders pattern on the 4-hourly time frame, and you could see us break down. If we was to lose this neckline with volume, we could potentially break down to this level right here, guys. I'll mark it for you. So wherever we break down, you could see it drop drastically in Ethereum. And this head and shoulders pattern was brought to my attention by a member in the group of the Telegram, by a member of the Telegram group there. Thanks a lot for that, member of the Telegram group. His name is Pratik. I'm not too sure how to spell your surname. I do apologise about that, mate. I don't want to say it wrong, but yeah, Pratik, a fantastic guy in there, posting lots of TA and excellent stuff in there. We've got some great guys in there. If you're not already a member of the Telegram group, do head over to that group, because it's full of great content and information, not just only on the projects that I'm covering, but on various other projects as well that are coming out the gate. So yeah, head over to that group, because you are missing out if you're not in there. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we painted this bullish cross on the MACD here, so potentially we could get the bounce off the 20 EMA here for Ethereum, and then just move up and hopefully get through this high. The fact that Bitcoin's pushing down now towards that dominance, potentially we are on the cusp of an alt season. Okay, failing that, you know, we could roll over and paint this head and shoulders pattern on the 4-hourly time frame for Ethereum and see us dump down to that level there. So I'll drop that target in there, guys. So that's 15.59. You could see that potential loss, and if it was to fail from here down to there, you'll be looking at a 13% short there. But that's entirely up to you. It's just something that we see. I'm just showing you what can potentially happen in the charts. But what we do need to see is a push on now, a push up, bounce off this EMA on the 4-hour with some positivity. We have got the histogram turning bullish there. The RSI is sitting mid-level there, which is healthy. The histogram looks relatively healthy, to be fair. We did form that bullish cross under the MACD. That's always a good sign, guys. Okay, so we are looking at a level of consolidation and then a push on, take out this high here, which is this target, this 1945. Push on and break the all-time high for Ethereum. So that's potential play, and hopefully that plays out. Just going to take a look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin right now, guys. So with Ethereum versus Bitcoin, then you can see that we pushed up. Okay, we back tested that and we fell through because Bitcoin pumped last night. It pumped off that bottom and it's moved up, but you can see we are hitting this level of support right now. We do seem to be creeping up back to test these EMAs. Unfortunately, we were so close. I said that potentially we're looking at painting a pattern like this over here, but obviously Bitcoin pumped up and got some of that dominance back, and obviously, you know, increased in sats against Ethereum there. So we fell through the EMAs here, which is not good, okay, because we managed to get through them there, and we've got like a bit of a rejection there. So we fell through. Now we bottomed out there, okay. So hopefully we can form a push up now, go back through these EMAs and claw it back, because otherwise we're looking at more Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin going up and Ethereum going sideways, or Ethereum potentially painting that head and shoulders and pushing down. So that's a bit of technical analysis on Ethereum versus Bitcoin. We do need to see a push up. We do need to see ourselves get through these EMAs before we can even target any upside for Ethereum. But we are hitting these levels of support here. You can see we're wicked down to that level there. So if ineffectively, you could say that we are forming higher lows here to a degree, which is always a bullish sign. But we have done a lower high there. So technically that's not good really. We do need to see that higher high. So hopefully what we can do now is let's look at something like we're getting through these EMAs, come up, make this high, back test the EMAs, and then form that bullish cross just there, and then move on for Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Failing that, just target these levels of support and keep an eye on that head and shoulders on the 4-hourly time frame for Ethereum as well, guys. So I'm just going to jump into Cardano right now. So Cardano's absolutely bolted up, guys. It's absolutely flew out the gate since it broke out this falling wedge here, and then obviously the news that it's being listed on Coinbase. We've gone up and we broke all the fib levels. We did hit our head up here, and then we formed this corrective wave. We did form this corrective wave. So this was an impulsive wave. That's your corrective wave, and you can see how strong it is. We were targeting, if you was to drop down any lower, potentially looking at a 20 EMA retest there, but obviously we've not dropped any lower. So it is looking good for Cardano, and we do look like we're potentially moving up to that high. But what I'm going to do is drop the fib on the larger time frame here, because we know that that's our top and that's our bottom. Okay, so what you do, you go from there to the bottom. Okay, and you can see that we have busted through all these fib levels. You can see that on the way back up, we did struggle to get through this 0618. But I did say in the channel, once we get through there, it's plain sailing and literally clear skies to the all-time high. And we are pushing up upon that now. So I would expect Cardano to get up to that level. Okay, once we get up to that level, you will see some kind of resistance going on right there. Okay, you can see that it's slowly staggering up to it right now. Failing that, we'll fall back, then target these levels here as support as we've moved up. Okay, these lower fib levels as a test of support. You may see the EMA creep up like this with it as well, and you may see that back test of the EMA as well, just to confirm that we are still in this uptrend. But it looks really, really strong for Cardano, guys. It really does. We've got this bullish cross here on the 4-hourly time frame. That's really super bullish. But potentially you are going to see a back test of the 20 EMA, you know, and hopefully it bounces off that and pushes on upwards and keeps making those new highs. We have got that target up there, guys. I don't know if any of you seen that target yesterday in yesterday's Cardano video, but it's a bit exuberant. But basically, you know, given the trajectory of the price appreciation of the last bull cross that we formed on a 4-hourly time frame for Cardano in an uptrend, we appreciated so much in percentage that potentially from this bullish cross here, we have a target up there of $4.75. So that is possibly not out of the question. Okay, it's definitely one to keep an eye on. But as we creep up now towards this previous high of 149, you will see a level of resistance. Okay, and you will see us hit it and potentially come back down and get rejected and possibly retest this EMA before we take out that high and move onwards and upwards. But from that point, I would say, just as a trajectory, I would say that pushing towards $2 is a good psychological level, guys. Okay, because once we take out 149, you'll be talking 150, and then from there you sort of rounding it off. Obviously get through to 160, 170, 180, but you could potentially see a major pump for Cardano after a EMA retest, especially on the 4-hour, a 20 EMA retest. Okay, pump up to that $2 target up there. So that'd be really good. We are getting a volume coming in. You can see the RSI is really overbought at the moment though, so potentially, you know, we're going to get up to that high. get rejected there and fall back down onto these lower fib levels, a potential retest of the 20 EMA. So what I'm going to do is just jump on to the Cardano versus Bitcoin. So yeah, we're just looking at Cardano on the weekly time frame here. It looks incredibly strong. We've got that bounce off that fib there, the 0236. And what I would do now for Cardano versus Bitcoin is target these levels moving forward. You can see we got rejected up there at the 0382 against Bitcoin. But what I'm projecting is that we do move up now. We take out that high, okay, the back level of support on the fib levels there, and the EMA on the 4-hourly time frame versus USDT, and then potentially push onto that $2, which would see us push up to this level here again and take out this high. And then once we do take out that high, target these levels on the Cardano versus Bitcoin Fibonacci retracement here as levels as resistance moving up. But I do project that we should get to this previous high versus Bitcoin for Cardano. This is a thing of beauty, the fact that we broke out, back tested support, and then we're moving up. We formed this bullish cross on the weekly time frame. Again, really bullish signal, guys. And we are getting a push up in the USD as well, obviously. The RSI is not too bad. It's not completely overbought. It's almost had a bit of a reset. So I would keep an eye on that RSI moving forward. You'll probably find that this RSI level will creep up here, which will take us up to this level. See a small rejection before we get a pump back through and push through these fib levels there, guys. So it's all good. It's all good for Cardano. It's looking really healthy, really strong. That Coinbase listing has gave it a new spree of life. I think there's something going on today, a speech or something. So yeah, keep your eyes to the ground, guys, because potentially Cardano is going to the moon. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Do smash that like button, and I'll be back with another update soon. Cheers, bye bye.